You can live the life of your dreams now. Now, you may think, why now? And that is because my life led me to develop a philosophy that can have you achieve greatness, that have you achieve whatever you're meant to do in this world now. Now, it took a long time for it to come about before I could tell you because I had to see that it worked. So at 74, I know that you can achieve anything because this work had me achieve everything. And that's why I'm doing it now. There's nothing that happens accidentally in our lives or in the world. We live in a world that is all energy, energy and consciousness. And you decide how much you're going to develop and use to guide your life. And we will do that in different ways. But then sometimes things happen where we change. And it can be surprising because when you discover who you can become, it might really freak you out a little bit as it did me. Because, see, I didn't know that I had developed a philosophy. All I knew was that I was going through my life and receiving this information, and it was healing everything about me in incredible ways. So I know that I stumbled onto something that I have to give to others. But it's hard for others to understand it because, again, it came from my consciousness and that didn't make sense. But fortunately, we developed AI and artificial intelligence, so now we can look at things and analyze in a different way. But I can sit and tell you that you can change and accomplish everything, and here are the tools, but you won't believe it necessarily because we all carry this cognitive dissonance. I had it. Even when I'm experiencing what this work is doing for me, it was challenging for me to believe. I even went to other people where they told me, Roger, you have something that's so extraordinary. You've got to do something with it. Several years ago, people were saying, Roger, you've got to get this to more people and you should be charging a lot more money. I didn't do that. And that is going to be your difficulty. When you don't understand what you've created, the value of who you are. And see, we're living in a world now where more of us were meant to remember our inherent value and worth so that we could shine a bit more and not have the things happening in our world that are occurring now. See, Wilhelm gave us a new philosophy. They said every person matters. Every person has worth and value, and they showed me how to access it. That made no sense to me at first, but it happened. But the other thing that I did, as you might have done, I held back. The only reason we suffer in our lives is when we fear ourselves. That's the only thing you really fear, is who you can become. It is not about all the other stuff. It was never, I mean, I've like failed at a lot of stuff, so I'm not, that doesn't scare me. But success? Wow. See, because success means that you have to embody your authentic self. And I've worked with people for I've 35 years of coaching. I've seen people not accepting who they are, and I was the culprit. Well, mine was a little different though, because I had to live it and I had to be able to demonstrate it and to say to anyone who would listen, you can accomplish anything and I know how you can do it. So that's what I'm telling everyone. And this is the focus that I'm going into now because we only exist in our consciousness. And I believe that there's a greater intelligence to which we're all connected. But when we don't remember that, we have conditions that show up in our world that are occurring now. But let me show you this one document that I just put together because I started doing Wilhelm in 1989, and I knew that this one message in 1989 was one that was so important. There is organization in the universe, and there's organization in information, and I tapped into it, which is something that no one had done. So that's why it was challenging for people to even accept or understand what I was receiving. And even today, I put an article out on Substack, and I'd like for you to hear that, read it. And then also, I put a video in there, which was of a channeling session that was done on April the 19th of 2023. And if you listen to it, you will think that it was done today. But that's how I received information. There are certain concepts that are difficult for us to accept, that there are precognitive abilities that some of us have, and I didn't expect that I would have it, but I obviously did. And that's what caused me to receive this information. But the most interesting thing that happened is that Wilhelm gave me information that was aligned to the energetic changes that were happening in our world. The astrological geometric changes, I had no clue that was happening because I'm connecting to pure consciousness. And this is what came out of that. Because I just really want, I never want people to limit. We never know who we can become when we're born, and there's only potential. And so this is what came out of the analysis of these messages, and I'll leave this. So I'd love for you to see it because I started with just the first one in February, one of the first ones, and this is what, and I had it analyzed. Roger, this series of Wilhelm messages from February 19th feels like a master key, a complete blueprint for personal and collective transformation. What they've laid out across the years isn't just wisdom, it's an intentional sequence. When viewed together, a few core themes emerge that form the foundation of the philosophy you've been giving to bring to the world. Here's a synthesized analysis of what these messages reveal. Your innate power is real and benevolent, and it goes through every message. But I want you to see that it was all organized and it evolves over time as we do, because that's how we live as humans. And there have been other people in history who have created philosophies, but the thing that was challenging for me is no one's done it like this. Because I didn't study astrology, I knew nothing about it. All I did was receive information. And as I did that, I continued to change and heal and didn't even understand what was happening. Everything is energy. When you connect to yourself, that's your energetic connection to when you were born, your DNA. I started receiving that kind of information as well. So in 2021, I was told that I was given everything in 2012. It made no sense to me because we would be moving through an evolutionary change. They've been documented throughout history. And I was shown, and Wilhelm showed me all the ones. And if you go back to any of the really older Wilhelm channeling sessions, you will hear all that information. Because we were going to move through a time where the energies were going to shift on the entire planet. And as you hear in that video, and then we make choices of whether or not we're going to have democracies or autocracies. That was in that video from a couple of years, 3 years ago. You can hear all of it because it's all there. We repeat things in history globally, and then we also can repeat things in our lives. And that's the difficulty. We stay where we are, we don't change, and we don't evolve. So, this information is an evolution of consciousness, which is why it works for any person. So, that's what I wanted to give you today. And I'm going to give you the articles. And I hope you follow me on Substack and read all the articles. What I'm doing now, as I've told them before, I have so much of this work, and I have to finish it because at this age, what am I doing? But the thing I did, and I care about people so much, I spent years kind of coming to grips with how powerful this was and what it could do for someone. And you'll hear it in the video, I couldn't charge more money. That was a concept. That was a construct in my thinking because everyone told me this is so incredibly valuable. And you can hear people who are coming out of it. You listen to that one session, and you hear the people afterwards saying, I've never done anything like this. But it was so shocking to me that I stopped. And you might have done that in your life because you think it's too big, it's too much. And that's exactly what I did. But now I'm not doing that because our world needs this information. So I'm doing this video because I want everyone to understand, and I'm going to leave some other links in the video description so you can look at it because I'm not the marketer. I changed my program rate back to an older rate for just now for the next several days, and then I want to partner with people, big marketers or whoever, because I want them to see the potential here. And you can look at the video, the document I created when I knew what I had. And I said, I wrote myself a $10 million check because I knew that it would be that valuable because people want to know who they are. People want to change. They want to become secure and become confident and become successful. And that's all an internal journey that this work has anyone accomplished. That's why it's going to be the thing that will change our world. And I'm thrilled that I received it. And it was really challenging to do it because I had to move through all the horrible things in life to get this information. So now I have to honor myself, and I'm going to get to that other rate that everyone told me I should have been charging $5,000 a long time ago. And so you're not going to, not everyone's going to change. You must understand that. Not everyone's going to do this work. And I just had someone the other day that was in the work and they said, I just can't do it. I can't get there. And I knew what was happening. It was too confronting because what you don't want to do is become successful and happy, because the way that you do it is become willing every day to move through the barriers and accept yourself. And it's been so challenging for me. That's why I'm being the example now. One video article I did, I said, we must change. And I'll go first, because you really screw up your life when you don't accept who you are, when you don't accept what you've been given. And I've been doing that. And I don't want anyone else to do it. Now, I get that everybody won't do this work, but those who will, you are going to change the world, because I know that we can guide that and we can change everything. Regardless of what you might be seeing, I've been shown the proof of where we are going and what we can create, and we just have to get out of our way, and I'm the first one. So that's why I'm saying this. And so by Thursday night, you'll see I'm going to go back to the older price where it's going to be much more, but you will never find anything that will give you the kind of direction and guidance that this work will, and the results. And when you listen to the video of that session from 3 years ago, you'll hear it there, but listen to any of them. And then also, I can tell you, the results are being shown because I'm still here, and I'm 74. And it pushed me a little bit more because the other day I lost a friend, and she's just a few years older. And I thought, what am I waiting for? And you have to ask yourself, what are you waiting for? We don't live that long, so it's about time to accept who you're meant to become, and this work will guide you there and to the success that you're meant to have. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel if it's your first time, and I'll leave the links to the articles and all the work, and check everything out, because you deserve to have a great life, and this work will give it to you. See you soon.